네, 오피셜이다. 40K다. 왜냐면 중국 쪽에서는 조금 일찍 유출이 돼가지고. 그래서 아마 토탈로 40K가 나올 확률이 굉장히 높습니다. 왜냐면은 제가 들은 게 그 예전에 이제 던오브워 3 때도 들었거든요. 던오브워 3 때도 들었던 분들인데 그때도 이제 나온다라고 했는데 그분들이 이제 번역을 하고만 이제 미리 선행하면서 이게 좋다 나쁘다를 이제 얘기해 주시는데 쎄하다라고 던오브워 3 때는 얘기를 같이 하셨더라고요. 근데 이번에도 나오는데 기존의 토탈로랑 되게 다르다라는 얘기를 듣긴 했는데 이게 오피셜인지 아닌지는 지금 까봐야 아는 거니까 22분 뒤에 공개되는 거니까. 근데 오늘 공개될 게 좀 많죠? 일단은 지금 토탈로 40K가 공개될 거고요. 오늘 아침 7시에 이제 좀 이따 아침 7시에는 던오브워 4에 대한 큰 소식이 또 공개가 될 거거든요. 제가 지금 아마 내일 이제 유튜브 아침 7시에 이제 유튜브 영상을 걸어놨기 때문에 엠바고 그때 풀려서 걸어놨는데 그거는 좀 기대하셔도 좋습니다. 동시에 공개될 건데 기대하셔도 좋을 것 같습니다. 아마 오늘 새벽 4시에 하는 거에서 새벽 4시 반인가요? 거기서 하는 거에서 공개가 될 겁니다. 거기서 공개가 될 거기 때문에 아마 4시 반이면 여러분들 다 알 거예요. 근데 엠바고는 7시에 풀리기 때문에 그 큰 거는 좀 보고 그런마씨 형님이랑 저랑 둘이서 야 이건 좀 큰데? 라고 했고 제가 분석한 게 있는데 그것도 이제 아마 내일 그러니까 내일 저녁이죠. 내일 저녁에 이제 방송하면서 또 소개를 해드릴 거고 던오브워 4 인터뷰는 내일 이제 오전 7시에 공개되는 것만 해도 되게 큰 거라서 나왔으면 좋겠어요. 저는 되게 입이 근질근질한, 왜냐면 또 기대하셔도 좋습니다. 예, 던오브워 1에서 네크론을 좋아하셨다? 기대하셔도 좋습니다. 타이투스가 캡틴 된 것도 캡틴 된 건데 500세계의 주인공으로서 지금 내민 거랑 지금 거의 미디어 믹스로 해서 지금 주인공으로 내세운 게 지금 너무 크거든요. 타이투스가 사실상 타이투스가 게임 미디어 믹스에서 주인공을 맡게 되면서 심지어 보드 게임에서 뭔가 지금 핵심 스토리의 주인공 같은 느낌을 한번 밀어줬단 말이야. 근데 이거 진짜 이거 내가 지금 4를 말하고 싶어서 말을 못하는데 지금 우리 그런마시 형이랑 나랑 지금 미쳐요 진짜. 이게 진짜 겁나 큽니다. 7시에 나오는 게 진짜 겁나 커요. 7시에 나오는 게 겁나 큽니다 지금. 아니요, 지금 플레이해본 건 저만 해봤습니다. 지금 한국에서 던오브워 4를 플레이한 건 저만 해봤습니다. 우주함대전은 배틀플릿 코딩 아르마다가 있기 때문에 사실 우주함대전은 어렵지가 않아요. 배틀플릿 코딩 아르마다가 사실상 큰 틀은 토탈어거든요. 네, 배틀플릿 코딩 아르마다. 배틀플릿 코딩 아르마다 2가 있기 때문에 사실 함대전 구현은 오히려 쉬울 것 같아. 근데 이제 결과적으로는 지금 일단 제가 토타로 쪽에서는 그렇게 많이 토타로를 막 하는 건 아니어가지고 이제 토타로에 40K가 나오니까 지금 되게 기대가 좀 되고 있는 건데 던오브워 같은 경우에서는 뭐 아무튼 그래서 10분 정도 남았네요. 네, 10분 남았는데 지금 뭐 일단 챕터 마스터 발락이 채널빵까지 걸었기 때문에 지금 다들 예상했는데 안 나온다는 사실 말이 안 돼. 이 정도까지 했는데 안 나온다? 그거는 그 디아블로 M 정도의 초유의 사태가 되기 때문에 지금 이 순간에 40K가 안 나오면 그거 나름대로 진짜 큰 문제입니다. 지금 40K 토탈로가 안 나오잖아요? 그거 나름대로 큰 문제예요. 정말. 왜냐면은 블리즈컨 때 디아블로 M이 한번 님폰업이 지금 대사건을 한번 이렇게 듣기 때문에 그 대사건이 일어났기 때문에 똑같은 게 업계 상황에서 한번 더 나온다? 걔 말도 안 됩니다. 진짜 그거는 아작나요 진짜. 아이 CA가 감없다는 얘기는 사실 CA 좋아해서 나오는 말이지. CA 좋아해서 나온 말이지 감이 없진 않아요. 왜냐면은 토탈워 워해머 3부작으로 얘네들이 하드 캐리한 게 얼마나 큰데. 나이 들어서 로빈이 영상 보고 미니어처 사다 500 이상 씀. 어이구야. 그 중에 한 5분의 1만 제한테 후원을 주니. 아무튼 일단은 제 스케줄을 말씀드리자면 한동안 제가 방송을 좀 이제 방송컴이나 이것저것 좀 고치고 많이 해가지고 좀 방송을 이제 좀 할 수 있거든요. 그동안 방송컴이 거의 한 달 내내 고장나 있었는데 제가 해결을 했습니다. 일단은 지금 새벽 1시 토탈워 신작 발표를 함께 볼 거고요. 아침 7시에 제가 예약 영상으로 걸어놨는데 저랑 그런마시 형님이랑 두 유튜브에서 일단 공개가 될 거고 아마 새벽 4시에 아마 라이브 쇼에서 또 공개를 할 거라고 좀 생각이 되거든요. 그리고 내일 저녁 9시에 아침 7시에 나왔던 영상에 대해서 안내를 좀 하는 방송을 할 겁니다. 그리고 6일날 새벽 1시 6일날 새벽 1시에 던오브워 개발자 인터뷰 지금 엠바고 걸려있거든요. 엠바고 걸려있는데 세계 최초 단독 인터뷰이기 때문에 그러니까 여러분들이 예전에 제가 워해머 타운 디스코드랑 유튜브에서 제가 질문을 받았잖아요. 개발자 인터뷰 질문을 받았었죠. 요거 있잖아요. 어디 갔냐? 제가 한국 인터뷰 잡았잖아요. 여기서 나왔던 질문 자 이거는 있습니다. 방송에서 오 30초. 간다. 토타로의 미래.
Okay. Set and action.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Total War Anniversary Showcase.
가자! 토타로의 미래.
I'm Steve Coleman, Senior Community Manager across the Total War franchise. On behalf of everyone at Creative Assembly, we're thrilled to be here with you today to celebrate one truly monumental milestone, the 25th anniversary of this iconic strategy franchise. Throughout this year, we've been celebrating the legacy of Total War by shining a spotlight on each of the games that we've released since the year 2000. But today, we look forward to the future and the exciting next generation for the franchise.
Next
This
generation.
showcase is your front row seat to everything we've been eagerly building behind the scenes. Across fantasy and historical Total War, we're working on a range of projects that span different eras, styles, and stages of development. And now, we finally get to share them with you. Whether it's long-awaited updates, bold new ideas, or glimpses into the future of Total War, there's something here for every kind of strategist. So without further ado, let's jump into things with a quick message from a true veteran of the studio. Someone who's had a part to play in almost every Total War game.
Thanks, Steve. I first walked through the doors of Creative Assembly in November 1999, hoping to land my next role in game development. Little did I know that during my interview, I would be shown an early glimpse of Shogun Total War. Over 25 years later, you've conquered history's most pivotal eras, witnessing the fall of Rome, surviving the turbulence of the Middle Ages, and establishing empires at the dawn of the modern world. You've also crossed dimensions into one of fantasy's most iconic settings, conquering the vast Warhammer world with legendary warriors and conflicts that defy reality. Thanks to your support, we get to continue pushing the boundaries of what Total War is capable of. So whether you're a fan of our history or fantasy titles, throughout it all, our aim is and has forever remained the same, ensuring everyone playing our games is excited to take one more turn. Now, what better place to begin the celebrations than with an early look at what's to come in Total War Warhammer.
아니 아직은 뭐 본격적으로 하는 건 아닐까요? 일단 뭐 업데이트부터 하고 큰 거는 남겨놓겠죠?
And this time, he's more determined than ever.
Growing up, Warhammer was easily one of my favourite pastimes. I fondly remember buying countless copies of White Dwarf, reading the battle reports within, and dreaming of what I might buy from the mailer at the back of each magazine. Like me, many of my teammates at Creative Assembly share the same deep love for Warhammer and the hobby that surrounds it. And nearly 10 years into developing content for this incredible series, the excitement is as strong as ever. Each new character, faction or creature we work on brings fresh energy to the team. The diversity of the lore ensures that every faction is distinct
아마
in its
토타로
design, filled
관련된
with rich stories and larger-than-life personalities. It's
아마
that variety
히스토리
and
아마
depth that
25주년이기
keeps the project
때문에
exciting for us, and it continues to be an amazing world to help bring to life. When we first set out to develop this series, our aim was to do something that no other Warhammer game had done before, to create a definitive strategy game experience that spanned the four corners of this amazing fantasy world, with the aim of including as much of Games Workshop's iconic lore, characters, creatures, and key events as possible. It's certainly been a journey of a lifetime for us, one that we've loved sharing with you and hearing your experiences of forging empires, felling enemies, and venturing to the darkest corners of the Warhammer world. But we aren't ready for it to end just yet. Next year, we need you to join the forces of Order, Chaos, or the Undead for a war that will determine the fate of this world.
업데이트 관련된 소식인 것 같은데.
Rise, my mortals. You will come to me and submit. Come to me and witness my ascension. The world is ending, and I shall reign over oblivion. Come to me, and for eternity you will serve. Citra does not serve. Citra rules. So be it. I am death incarnate.
뱀파이어의 근본 네페라터. 제가 이 부분은 잘 모르거든요. 이제 판타지라서. 그래서 아시는 분들이 이야기를 해주시면 더 감사할 것 같습니다. 내가 관심 있는 건 토타로야. 엔드타임이네. 엔드타임 진행하는 거네.
That's right. Nagash has arisen, and he's bringing the apocalypse with him. He and his undead legions are finally invading Total War Warhammer in summer 2026 with the Lords of the End Times pack. And he's not coming alone either. 3 other iconic legendary lords from the End Times will be joining the fight, along with terrifying new units, devastating mechanics, and lore-inspired objectives. And yes, we've got a brand new free legendary lord for everyone to enjoy. For those who don't know, the End Times is basically the Warhammer Apocalypse, and it's the ultimate battle between the forces of good and evil. During this event, Archaon the Ever-Chosen leads the forces of Chaos in a final assault to destroy the world. But as the forces of destruction rise, legendary heroes and factions from across the world form uneasy alliances to resist annihilation. And as we announced earlier this year, Warhammer 1 and 2 owners can also join in on the action, as Immortal Empires is now accessible to all players who own one of the games from the trilogy. We're incredibly excited for our players to experience this content as we celebrate an amazing 10 years of working on this game. Whether you're a veteran or returning after time away, there's never been a better moment to dive in. This isn't just another update, it's the end of the world.
Nagash isn't just a villain. He is the king of the undead.
네, 이렇게 어쨌든 네, 엔드타임이면은 카오스가 그냥 승리하는 엔딩 아닌가?
Over the dead. His first attempt to extend that desert to the entire world failed, but he is back, and this time he is more determined than ever. To bring that presence to life, we focused on making him feel truly imposing. As the greatest of all necromancers and wizards, he is a figure above politics and mortal concerns. He does not need to motivate anyone. He simply states what will happen. His goal from the beginning is clear: to turn the world into a land of the dead. His undead corruption spreads relentlessly as he claims lost power, seizing the Black Pyramid, gathering his scattered books, and raising armies that stir simply from his presence. And he doesn't come alone. Nagash can summon his Mortarchs by luring them from other factions. Arkhan the Black, for example, who abandons his Tomb King Thais to ride a Dread Abyssal and flood the world in deadly witchlight. Nagash's arrival brings not only doom, but a unique undead roster that draws from both the Vampire Counts and Tomb Kings, uniting ancient death and vampiric horror under one banner. From the crypts and catacombs rise ancient figures like Warlock Harkon, the ruthless Blood Knight whose blade has tasted the blood of kings. He is joined by Tomb Heralds, the internal guardians of Nehikaran royalty, and the towering Morghast Archai, created by Nagashi's own hand to hunt the souls of the defiant. And then there is the Khemric Titan, a colossal woe construct that stomps and flies across the battlefield like a walking apocalypse. With all this in mind, Nagashi's goal remains unchanged. He seeks to reclaim enough power to choke the life from the world itself, binding all undead to his will in a single, world-ending ritual, as is his grand design.
Bringing the end times to Total War Warhammer meant more than adding new content. It meant reshaping the very fabric of the campaign map to reflect the devastation unleashed by a host of apocalyptic events. Depending on their choices, players will witness a Warhammer world transformed. Lush meadows now drawn in molten rivers from volcanic eruptions. Earthquakes split the land into colossal fissures, rendering cities into ruins beyond repair. Craters from warp-fueled meteors scar the terrain, and entire continents may be left barren. The campaign map has never felt so apocalyptic and alive, and we're thrilled for players to shape their own vision of it. Of course, such devastation means new battlefields. Our team has crafted epic new maps to reflect the chaos. Players can expect battles fought within the sunken ground of an earthquake fissure, with lava pouring from all sides, fighting at the very edge of an erupting volcano, or in giant craters created from warpstone meteor showers. It's nothing short of the monumental destruction only the end times could bring. We've really tried to make these key moments in the lore as immersive to play through as possible. One of the most haunting new settlement locations is Nagashazar, the dread fortress of Nagash himself. With its towering necromantic architecture, glowing skulls, and eerie green witchlight, it's a place where death reigns eternal. The environment team have poured their passion into crafting a map that feels otherworldly, so let's take a brief look at it in action.
This world dies.
오, 이 올드 약간 이렇게 바뀌는 멸망 각이네. 멸망각 엔드 타임이네.
You let chaos claim it. Allowed chasms to bleed it. Life failed it. This world dies and becomes my domain.
로드 오브 더 엔드 타임. 근데 약간 엔드 타임은 뭐 예고 거의 다 알고 있던 거 아닌가? 엔드 타임이 될 거라는 건 알고 있었잖아. 토탈 오버에
I'm Lore Master
보니까.
of Sotek. You may be familiar with me from a Twitch and YouTube channel and other stuff where I talk about and focus on Warhammer Fantasy lore and literature, amidst some other things. And today I'm going to be serving you as the Herald of the End Times. But I'm not alone, because I'm joined by Rich, Victor, and Todor, who you are likely familiar with at this point. And today we're going to be chatting about the Lords of the End Times. So, to start us off, is this really the end for Total War Warhammer? Like, is this the final thing, which a lot of people have feared is going to be the case?
No, absolutely not. This is just a moment in the Warhammer lifetime, and there's going to be more content still to come after this, I'm pleased to say.
Excellent. That is what I very much like to hear. So getting into the actual content itself, what is the End Times going to be bringing to the game that's going to change our experiences for people that are familiar with Immortal Empires and have played hundreds of campaigns? What is the End Times specifically going to be doing to shake up the experience?
So, first of all, we're bringing a set of characters. One of them we'll discuss a bit later here. And there is another significant update that comes to the Immortal Empires that aims to bring the End Times to your campaign while respecting the rules of the sandbox. So what we want to try and achieve is make the later stages of your campaign more interesting, like keep the choices impactful, keep the stakes high, and we're doing that by introducing end-time scenarios, which you might think are a bit like the current existing crisis, but they're different from them in various ways. Like, for example, an end-time scenario comes in phases. So there will be a build-up, there will be phases of actions, and at the end there is a culmination battle. Well, the entire scenario is resolved. And you might be able to overcome the challenge, the end times. You might be able to survive, or you might fail, and you might have to live with the consequences, or not live at all. An example of such a end time scenario is related to the most powerful necromancer in the world, who at some point might suddenly decide that he wants to exert his will over everything that has died, but to do that, he needs to make everyone dead. So this is something that you need to face and overcome. In addition to that, there are some significant changes while the end time scenario takes place to the visuals of the campaign and in battle, and also to the audio. So you will have all this different atmosphere related to Nagash or perhaps Archaon.
Speaking of that particular big man himself, while today we are going to be celebrating quite a bit and giving the great necromancer his due, as he always deserves, ultimately he's kind of interrupting someone else's party, which is the one that kicks off the end times and ends up ending it. Archaon himself, is there going to be anything new, anything exciting that fans of Archaon can be looking forward to with the end times?
I must admit, while I admire Nagash, Archaon is truly the closest one to my heart, and I love playing campaigns with him and uniting the forces of chaos and raining destruction upon the hapless rest of the world. So we are doing new things for Archaon. One of those is we're trying to refresh his entire experience by introducing a narrative feature that aims to put the player into the shoes and boots and mount of the 13th ever chosen. So this will be the story of how you, as Archaon, in your campaign, you bring about the end times. And in addition to that, we really want to update the visuals of Archaon's model, so he receives the proper visual quality that the 13th ever chosen deserves.
Well, it's excellent to know that Archaon's dressing up for the occasion. He needs to. It's technically his affair. He needs to look the part, so that's great. But ultimately, we're not really here to talk about him. As much as we all love him, he's a bit old news. We're here for the big man, the big, great necromancer himself, the father of all of our favorite undead. What is Nagash gonna be doing for Total War? Oh my goodness, what is he going to be bringing to the game? Clearly, a lot of teal and destruction and death from the looks of things.
Nagash is the supreme lord of undead, and he would be the ultimate necromancer in our game. He's all about power, dark, forbidden, lost and reclaimed, power to end the world. In battle, he will also be able to command a vast roster of different undead units from the currently existing ones and some new ones specifically unique to him. And on the campaign map, he will spread death across the land because he's not interested in conquest. he wants to reshape the world in his image, making it a lifeless desert. This is his ambition to rule over everything, because this way they're obedient and subservient to him. And we want to give this power fantasy to the player. It's not that you are the hero in this case, you are the end, and this is the power fantasy drenched in the dark tone of Warhammer. When playing with Nagash, you will be having these mechanics that allow you to construct necropolises over where vibrant jungles used to be, and the change is permanent there. So this is how we imagine Nagash to be.
Permanent? Oh, okay.
Well, if you defeat the faction like in totality, you'll be able to revert some of that.
Sounds pretty difficult to get rid of, but such is the power of Nagash. But as a powerful wizard, is there going to be anything special magic-wise, like maybe something new?
Yes, he comes with his own spell lore, inspired by the tabletop, and there'll be new spells that are all unique to him, and we'll be making them in a way that plays in the spirit of Total War. So not a direct translation, but inspired, and certainly the flavor of the tabletop.
So we hear a lot from beloved and very trustworthy naysayer Manfred von Karstein that Nagash is weak. He's been saying that for years at this point. What is Nagash going to be bringing to the game that sets him apart from our other undead, our vampire counts, Tomb Kings, etc.?
I can give you one thing. He's going to be bringing all of that good stuff that you just mentioned together. So he's going to be in command of the vampire counts, the vampire coast, and the Tomb Kings. He is the proper puppet master of them all, which I think is going to be a lovely, nod back to what we all enjoyed in Warhammer in the past, having control of all of this undeath. He's also then, as we were talking about before, having that corruption element, where once he's seeded himself into this world, he's going to kill everything off, and nothing's going to be able to come back from it. So he's going to be super exciting to play.
That is pretty exciting, but while Nagash, he always stands above the great god of death, he does have to delegate to somebody. Is there any other kind of features or minions or anyone what is he going to be relying upon to bring the world to ultimate silence?
So, first of all, it's important to say that unlike other undead factions that are comprised of different characters with different complicated relations, Nagash's faction is Nagash, his race is Nagash, everything revolves around Nagash and his will and his ultimate ambition to dominate over a dead world. In order to achieve that, he relies on his corruption, he relies over all the variety of undead units that he has under his command. He also relies on the presence of the Black Pyramid. Both on the campaign and in battle, you will witness and you will command the Black Pyramid around the world. And in addition to that, he has also relies and demands the support of his Mortarchs, who are these special characters that are obedient to him and serve his will. And in the game, we're representing, I believe, all of them.
영어 나오니까
Nine of
급조용.
them, the ones that were present in the End Times books.
So the canon ones, very fun.
The canon ones, so you can expect that when you play Nagash, they'll be doing their own things that are currently in Total War, those of them that are already there. And in time, when you grow strong enough, you'll be able to exert your will and call them to you. You will be able to choose in what sequence you, in what order you summon them. Some will be easier, some will be harder to dominate, and you'll be able to make them stronger in the process. Like when they become his lieutenants, they don't do it out of pure adoration. Some of them do, like Arkan, but others are just tempted by power. So when they become Mortarchs, they will receive new abilities, some stat boosts. Some of them get special mounts, like the Dread Abyssals, that will allow them to ride into battle. And they're also, like, when they join you, they'll be like bringing their lens with you, so to speak, but you'll be draining them of life in the way Nagash does with everything. So,
Coming with a proper upgrade for those Mortarchs, which is very exciting, and probably some goodies I imagine the other undead will be looking to as well, when it makes sense.
absolutely, we can expect that all these new toys that we're adding where appropriate, we'll be receiving other factions.
빨리
like vampire
40K
counts will be
보여줘.
receiving access.
빨리. 빨리
That's all
40K
really
보여줘.
exciting. I can't wait to just collect the full set of them. For those of us that have that kind of completionist itch, there's something very nice about having that full little grouping under Nagash's claw. But speaking of other just exciting things that are going to be happening with the end times and/or Nagash, what would you say for you
And
personally
in
is going to
battle,
be the most?
You will witness and you will command the Black Pyramid around the world. And in addition to that, he has also relies and demands the support of his Mortarchs, who are these special characters that are obedient to him and serve his will. And in the game, we're representing, I believe, all of them, Victor?
All 9 of them, the ones that were present in the End Times books.
So the canon ones, very fun.
The canon ones, so you can expect that when you play Nagash, they'll be doing their own things that are currently in Total War, those of them that are already there. And in time, when you grow strong enough, you'll be able to exert your will and call them to you. You will be able to choose in what sequence you, in what order you summon them. Some will be easier, some will be harder to dominate, and you'll be able to make them stronger in the process. Like when they become his lieutenants, they don't do it out of pure adoration. Some of them do, like Arkan, but others are just tempted by power. So when they become Mortarchs, they will receive new abilities, some stat boosts. Some of them get special mounts, like the Dread Abyssals, that will allow them to ride into battle. And they're also, like, when they join you, they'll be like bringing their lens with you, so to speak, but you'll be draining them of life in the way Nagash does with everything. So,
coming with a proper upgrade for those Mortarchs, which is very exciting, and probably some goodies I imagine the other undead will be looking to as well, when it makes sense.
Absolutely, we can expect that all these new toys that we're adding, where appropriate, we'll be receiving other factions like vampire counts will be receiving access to them.
That's all really exciting. I can't wait to just collect the full set of them. For those of us that have that kind of completionist itch, there's something very nice about having that full little grouping under Nagash's claw. But speaking of other just exciting things that are going to be happening with the end times and/or Nagash, what would you say for you personally is going to be the most exciting thing that's coming with all of this exciting new DLC and content?
Well, one itch I've been wanting to scratch is to get the Realm of Chaos battlefields actually into Immortal Empires. As you know, they don't feature within that map at the moment. So this is a new way in which we want you to experience those larger-than-life, colourful battlefields that the Realms of Chaos each have. And there'll be ways for you to transport yourself to those battlefields, to have those epic battles with the adversaries of the demons and the light, and have a lot of fun there and bring much more life and flair to Immortal Empires.
So having those maps where we're fighting in the realm of Slanesh and Nurgle and all those horrible but so beloved dark gods.
Exactly that.
Well, just to build up a bit on that, like for me as a player, like some of the best battlefield maps we've done is in the Realm of Chaos, and now that Immortal Empires have become the definitive way to experience Total War Warhammer, I'm kind of missing on those, so I'm glad we're adding them in. For me personally, the big thing with this DLC is cataclysmic events, or what we internally call devastation, which you can see.
Oh, is that why Lustria and everything is burning and on fire horribly?
We wanted to show the change in the world in a visual way that is more dramatic than what we currently can do with just corruption. You know, corruption changes a bit of the environment, but not to this extent. So we'd like, with 10 times scenario, for really truly epic, apocalyptic things to happen, like volcanoes erupting, fissures opening up, like bottomless chasms, and meteors falling down, splintered from the Chaos Moon. And we would like that to change the campaign map rather permanently, and to provide different gameplay there once that change happens. For certain, it would be triggered in some cases by the game. In some instances, the AI factions will be able to wield it like a super weapon. In some cases, the player themselves will be able to use them. But there will be examples in the lore we would like to really show visually, and also with music. We are writing bespoke music for those events. Like when a certain endgame scenario happens, you, as a player, will know you're in this moment that things are changing. Like the visuals of the campaign map will change, the mood there, the music, and just the color palette and the special effects around the campaign map will be different And also in the battle maps, there will be different skyboxes, like when the Chaos More Sleep is hanging low, close to the world, you'll be able to see that on battle maps. And all these new images and visuals we hope to really show the end times.
Yeah, we got lava and wildfires and craters and pits, and so this will be affecting actual game. It's not just cosmetic. This will be affecting actual gameplay on the campaign.
Yes. On the campaign map, the provinces will work in a different way after a cataclysmic event has happened to them, and there will be also different battle maps too.
I'm okay with that, but our jungles.
No.
Realms of Chaos battlefields and Devastation is cool. I really admire them. What I'm most excited about personally is the narrative chains that we're preparing for the new lords we're introducing, and also some of the existing lords, to be perfectly frank. And I'm really, really curious and excited as a Total War player to see how we will be able to tell the story of Nagash's rise to power and his domination over the world while still retaining the sandbox and retaining that player agency and the player choice.
So regardless of which character you're picking, you'll have the ability to get involved in these storylines of like the rise of Nagash and stuff, even though you're playing such and such way on the other side of the planet. You can, if you want, you can get really involved with these storylines.
Well, yeah, if you're not playing as Nagash, it's very likely that you will have to survive the rise of power of Nagash. Whereas if you play as Nagash, you will be the one that rises to power step by step while you are doing your conquest and your spread of corruption and the extinguishing of life around you.
Excellent. So for a lot of us players, this is incredibly exciting, and there's a lot of changes and just wild things happening, and everything's quite literally on fire. And although we've touched a little bit on it, just to be kind of clear when it comes to the end times as an experience, this is still focusing on that sandbox experience of Total War Warhammer. It's not purely a narrative, but it has narrative aspects, but it's still sticking to the core fundamentals.
Yeah, as you know, Total War is a storytelling machine, and we want players to be able to still tell their own stories through the sandbox nature that we offer. So with the end times now featuring in Immortal Empires, it's going to be exactly that. You can go ahead and, as we talked about earlier, play as Archaon and destroy this world, end it completely. But on the flip side, we want to let you have those different stories, also things that maybe didn't happen, but you'd like to think how they might have played out, with Nagash taking over the world and bringing death to it, or whatever else you can think of for that matter.
I know many people who are going to be hopping right into Karl Franz Saves the Day.
Hope so.
We're exploring different apocalyptic scenarios that could have ended the world in the canon, but didn't, because we all know Chaos won. But we're looking for other what-if possibilities that could have happened.
Well, that is all extremely exciting stuff in my very, very biased but professional opinion. But beyond the end times, is there anything else we all can be looking forward to for Total War Warhammer?
So, one very important thing that we're all quite excited about to announce is that with the release of the Lord of the End Times pack, you no longer need to own Warhammer 1 or Warhammer 2 or Warhammer 3 to experience the Immortal Empires. You can purchase just one of the packs and you will gain access to the Immortal Empires, where you can play with what you have purchased against everything else that's in the campaign. So you can purchase just Nagash from your shirt, and you can play as Nagash from your shirt in the Immortal Empires and extinguish the life in this doomed world.
So a Nagash Stan can just come in, buy just this, get whole Immortal Empires, and just go crazy and then be like, job done.
Exactly. This is an exciting moment for us all, because we're lowering the entry point barrier for all of the players. So we're hoping to introduce new players that want to experience all this magnificent spectacle that the Immortal Empires and Warhammer 3 Total War is.
Well, that is just amazing. I'm so excited to see all of this come to fruition, all of your incredible hard work. Thank you so much to Rich, Victor, and Todor for joining me here to discuss the end times and what all it's bringing to us in the future, which is just...
40K도 확실히 좀 마지막에 약간 쏠 것 같죠? 약간 느낌상.
We hope that you had a good time, and we will see you around.
Total War has a long and storied history, and alongside the game announcements we're sharing with you today, we'd like to reveal more about the latest evolution of the game engine that will be powering our future ambitions. To give you more of an insight into what's going on, I'm joined by Ellie and Roberto from our core technology team. Guys, do you want to do a quick introduction? Maybe Ellie, just tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi, I'm Ellie Corlander, and I'm the technical art director on Total War.
Perfect, thank you. And Roberto?
I'm Roberto Girali, and I'm the core technology director for Total War.
Perfect. Thank you, guys, and thank you for joining me for this chat today.
Thank you.
So for those who maybe don't know, like me, what is an engine? What does the engine do for Total War?
So it's the tools, it's the toolbox really of the game developers. It's the graphics renderer, it's core gameplay kind of components that the teams build upon to make our game experiences unique. It's the animation system. There's a lot of core features that all of Total War games actually benefit from, and we build upon those in our unique products.
Why is Total War's engine so important?
Well, the engine is the foundation for all our titles, and when we saw the incredible lineup ahead of us, well, we decided that we needed to level up our technology to support these fantastic visions. So it's quite an exciting challenge. We're a small team, we use proprietary tech, but we're really excited to bring something new to Total War. And so today we're happy to reveal the new iteration, the new evolution of the game engine, Warcore, and we'd be happy to talk about it today.
Yeah, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about the current version of our engine. We started evolving that from 2009, and all the products you've seen since then. We've been iterating on that engine, but we realized that with the lineup of games we had and the features we wanted to deliver, we really had to redesign some of those foundations.
So this is taking what Total War is at its core and then taking it to that next level, like you said, leveling up, right? What does this mean for Total War players? What can they expect to see and experience in future Total War games?
We really wanted to upgrade the type of visuals you could see in the game, to keep, competitive with what everyone else is seeing in other games at the moment. Total War games are rendering so much on screen at the same time. You've got VFX, characters, massive battlefields. So many characters. We really had to rethink, how the techniques we use to render some of that stuff, because we wanted to upgrade the fidelity everywhere. Some of those things include new lighting techniques, dynamic shadowing. We've improved our screen space ambient occlusion, which means you're going to see much more fidelity in the self-shadowing of models on the terrain. Gives it much more realistic feel. The meshes and the textures now, because of improved rendering techniques, we're able to put more fidelity in those things and not compromise on that performance of gameplay. We also have looked at new rendering techniques for VFX, so where you see projectiles, there will be high fidelity because we've now got a new ribbon technology, which means we're not going to have so many overlapping particles. This means it's more performant, and it means we can get crisper kind of projectile visuals.
Nice.
Yeah, our players may be familiar with Warscape, which is our renderer, and we've created a new version in Warcore powered by DirectX 12.
So it's all going to contribute towards the overall immersion of what our battles are like, I guess, as well. And does this apply to campaign as well? So these kind of like new lighting abilities and things like that we'll have in the game, will people see that across both campaign and battle?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, yes, they will. It'll be across the render is kind of like a layer on top.
구형 엔진 마개조로 엔드타임까지 오네.
Awesome.
On the battle side, we've actually decided to integrate Havoc and the physics system into our gameplay. It means that the buildings are more dynamically destructible. You can then use that as part of your strategic gameplay to sort of pathfind to new areas of the map.
And the battle AI will also respond to this, so we've rehauled the battle AI to be also able to utilize all these new advancements and be more strategic as well.
So you can use these like destructible environments to your tactical advantage, but also your enemies are going to be doing the same.
Yeah.
So, okay. That's
미디블?
interesting.
Yeah, the battle AI now.
신작은 근데 마지막쯤에 탁탁탁 터뜨리지 않을까? 토탈워가 지금 시리즈가 2개가 만들어지는 걸로 알고 있는데.
So it's really leveled up.
Awesome.
And what about campaign? Are we going to see a lot of advancements in that area as well?
Yeah, we've put a lot of work into campaign. We've rewritten it to be modular so that each different game can really use these building blocks to create custom, amazing experiences. And with this, like the campaign AI goes hand in hand. So that will also evolve and use what we call a forward model. So it will simulate future states of the game to make better strategic decisions.
What does this mean for animations then?
So we've actually rewritten a lot of our animation system. It's now a graph-based node system, which means we can layer animation behaviors and create more variety and fidelity. Some of the things the players may see is more complex movement like strafing and more complex vehicle movement, something that we've been challenged with our previous version, but we wanted to do more and bring more to the gameplay.
Yeah, the team has really done a great job, I feel, with our new animation system. And there's something else, right?
Yes, of course. With Total War, quite a key part of it is blood and gore. We wanted to make this more visceral, more realistic. What we've done is rewritten some of parts of the dismemberment system, so you'll see more dismemberment. Limbs
이거 지금 어쨌든 여러 가지 팔다리가 상호작용되고 막 이러는 거는 엔진 마개조 약간 이쪽인 것 같은데 차량?
Oh, okay. That's a relief.
차량 근데 약간
We've talked a lot about all these pretty awesome
미래의
advancements
토타로?
that are going to be coming to Total War in the future. But Total War, of course, has a 25-year legacy on PC. Does this new engine allow us to look further afield in
새로운
regards
엔진.
to the hardware we developed for?
Oh yeah, we've been wanting for a bit now to expand our horizons and to bring our franchise to players regardless of the hardware they use. So we're quite happy that the new engine also allows us to take our future titles on PlayStation and Xbox as well as PC. Yeah.
Fantastic. So we can finally allow console players to experience Total War.
Yeah.
But we're still going to be, of course, maintaining that same focus on the deep strategy ethos that we encompass, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to remain true to our soul. So we're not having like a knee-jerk reaction to put in our games on console. We absolutely want to. We love the Total War formula and the complexity, the depth, and this is something that we want to keep regardless of the hardware. So PC players, I don't think they'll see any major changes to the product they love because we love it as well. So yeah, going on console is really a way to expand also to other players.
Great. What are we aiming to achieve with Warcore then? What's the goal of this new engine?
Yeah, we wanted to give Total War the strongest foundation it ever had. But really here, we wanted to look at the future. So the engine now is at its infancy, so it will evolve and get better and better over time. But even now, yeah, we feel it's the most powerful foundation we've ever had. And we are thinking long term. So players will see over time more and more improvements coming to it.
Yeah, like Roberto says, it's in its infancy now, but you will see improvements in terms of the rendering, in terms of things like destruction and all those interesting new
이거는 근데
features.
활이 아니라
We will build
약간
upon those and
레이저포
release
같지 않아요?
it
방금
to
저거는?
We've got, plans to keep iterating on those features.
Yeah, I think players will already see something great, but you're really excited about what they can see even 2, 3, 10 years from now, and that's what we're trying to build, yeah. And it's also something we've built for our staff, so to give them more powerful tools, to be able to create even better games. So yeah, streamline our internal pipeline.
일부러 옛날 집 보여주고 뭔가 레이저로 파괴되는 거 아닌가? 대포인가?
So we've worked on like unified tools and unified experience and workflows and improving that experience all around.
Good for the players and good for the developers as well. It's a win-win. Amazing. Well, thank you both for joining me for this chat today. Up next, we are going to be taking a look at what's to come.
역사 팬분들을 위한 컨텐츠가 있으니까 이거는 미디블이겠네.
Hi, I'm Pavel.
네.
It's incredible to be standing in front of you
약간
today,
그건데?
not just as a developer, but as a lifelong fan. I've been playing Total War
발락
for 25 years.
채널 숫자
First
삭제 갈 수도
discovering the
있겠는데
franchise
이거?
Shogun before becoming completely captivated by Medieval. That passion
제가
led me
들은
to
것도
join
그러면
Creative
이제
Assembly in
루머였던 거지.
2005,
where I've
루머에
been
루머를
fortunate to
들었던 거예요.
contribute to most of our historical Total War releases, from Medieval 2 all the way up to Free Kingdoms. And today, I'm absolutely thrilled to be here as the game director of our next major historical title. The franchise was created not only because of our love of strategy games, but from a deep love of history. From the very beginning, our goal has been to bring the past to life in immersive, authentic worlds, giving players a chance to relive and reshape it in a way only Total War can. We know that same passion for history lives in our community. You've been asking for a return to the roots of what made historical Total War so special, and that's exactly what we're setting out to do. So today, we're proud to reveal the next chapter in Total War's historical legacy. It's a game we've dreamt of making for a very long time. This is more than just a
단순한 신작 게임이 아닌 역사 토탈워의 부활. 미디블 맞는 것 같은데? 발락 채널 삭제하면 추모 영상 같죠? 미디블인가?
We rule by divine right, and yet our realm is far from holy.
The armies we command paint red.
약간
Why fight when hearts and minds are easily swayed?
The realm is ours only when our enemies lie dead.
Patience and time will beget our gain.
We are stability,
Dignity.
And authority.
We bear the weight of pain.
end of defeat.
Greatness shall ever define us.
And we shall never
be forgotten. So,
how will you
shape
your realm?
How will
you
make history?
Make
history.
Make history.
역사를 어떻게 쓰시겠습니까? 미디블로 쓰겠습니다. 아닌가? 미디블이네.
Yes, Medieval 3 is real.
Medieval
So many of you have
토탈워네.
long desired a sequel to this special series, and today we're thrilled to confirm that it's in early pre-production. The Medieval series holds a special place in the hearts of many, and this game will be both a tribute to its predecessors and a bold step forward. We're drawing direct inspiration from what made those past games unforgettable, and for it to herald the rebirth of historical Total War. Our vision for the game is ambitious, but clear. We want Medieval 3 to be the definitive Total War experience set in the medieval era. A game where you don't just relive history, you rewrite it. In gameplay terms, that means choosing your realm, forging your legacy, and altering the course of history with a level of player agency we have never achieved before in a Total War title. Now, we are in early pre-production with Med 3, and we're announcing
일단 역사 토탈워
to
하시는
take you on our
분들은
development journey with us, where we can, via blogs and other updates.
확실히
We've
너무
never announced something
좋아하시겠는데?
this early before, and we are excited to engage with you throughout this journey. We have started to build the foundation for Medieval 3, and over time, we will be able to share more about the game as it comes to life. There's a lot more to come, and we can't wait to share it with you. So let's dive in and meet some of the team.
Hi, I'm Cody Bonds, and I'm excited to be here today with the team making Total War Medieval 3. I've been covering Total War on YouTube for a number of years now. I have a degree in archaeology from media, and I can't wait to meet you guys. So can you introduce yourselves?
Hey Cody, my name is Leif. I'm the creative director on Total War Medieval 3.
And I'm Luke. I'm a senior game designer on Total War Medieval 3.
People have been asking for Medieval 3 since probably the day after Medieval 2 released. What does it feel like to finally announce this game that people have been looking forward to for so long?
Yeah, I mean, it's super exciting, also a bit intimidating, but really exciting. And, in fact, this is really the game that a lot of us came to join CA to really be part of. I was dreaming about making this game one day. I remember when I joined in 2016 first, I was crossing my fingers and hoping that this would be, please let it be Med 3. So this is it, right? This is our magnum opus. Over the years, of course, we toyed with the idea of making this game. It really feels like now is the right time for it. Medieval 3 is, of course, the sequel to Medieval 2, but it also follows on, a long history now of Total War games, 20 years since, where we learned a lot about making Total War games, and we're really excited to carry this into Medieval 3. So expectations are high. Expectations are really high for us as developers, for us as fans of the series as well, right? And expectations are high in the community out there. And that was actually one of the main inspirations of
역사
launching
토탈로 하시는
this
분은
early,
되게 좋아하시겠는데?
earlier than we've ever done.
일단은 뭐 저야 뭐 아예 토탈로 바이브의 근본의 뭐 그런 유저는 아니다 보니까.
About making the game, as Life said, we're all fans. We've been playing for years. I have a background in medieval history, so for me it's a dream come true. And I think that's true for most of the people on the project for all different reasons. So there's loads of excitement in the studio at the moment.
If you're drawing on all this excitement, what is the vision for the game itself?
We want Medieval 3 to be all about rewriting history. And Total War has always been about painting the map, your color, of course, and Medieval 3 will have that as a key element still, but it's no longer the single most important element of your game. Much more ways of how we want players to be able to reach through the window to the world and influence the world around them, and add more ways of how the world
다 늙어서 하겠네. 아직 걱정하지 마세요. 지금 뭐 끝난 건 아니까. 지금 뭐
will you create in your campaign?
얼마 안 됐어 아직.
Roman Empire, will you be able to unite the empire, or will you perhaps accelerate the fragmentation and form an early kingdom of Germany? And it's not just about your own realm, it's also about what happens to all the realms in the world. In your game, if the Byzantine Empire falls, what will the consequence be? And what about the world itself and the people that live in it? What about the dynamics of urbanization? What about the medieval estates? How will the world develop? So we want Medieval 3 to be that ultimate canvas to tell your own story and to rewrite history.
So you're talking about the medieval era, but that can be quite wide or small era depending on who you ask. So when you say medieval, what do you mean in this game? What's the setting?
I'll say we haven't fixed a start date yet, but we know that like Medieval 2, we want to set the game in the sort of high to late medieval period, 12th to 15th century, maybe a little bit either side. And I've always felt like the high and a little bit of the late period is really the most recognizably true medieval period. It has all the stuff that you might expect to find, like knights and castles. It has crusades, plague, of course. There's the big names like Barbarossa, Saladin, Eleanor of Aquitaine, and of course, Richard the Lionheart. In the east, you have these rising powers, the Ayyubids, the Mamluks, the Mongols, and later the Ottomans. And then in the west, there are these sort of slow and steady kingdoms forming and gaining power, like France and Castile. And then in Central Europe, the Holy Roman Empire is mired by civil war, and the Italian free city states are forming these sort of bullish trade empires and stalking the Mediterranean. And then there's the sort of somehow still heartbreaking fall of the Byzantines, the East Romans, first at the hand of the Christians in the Fourth Crusade, and then later defeat by the Ottomans. So it's a really rich and vibrant period, and I think it's a great setting for us. I like to see it sort of as a chaotic world where people are trying to establish some sort of order onto it. So rulers are trying things out. They might be new things or old things. That could be an economic system or a military strategy or a political gambit. And they don't really know if it's going to work, but they try it anyway. And I find that really compelling. You see things like brotherhood and oaths of fealty, even chivalry, creating these sort of bonds that hold society together. So it's also a world of promise. And those promises are set in the context of people's personal ambitions. So the result is often just carnage, and what better setting for a total war game?
It sounds like you're talking about the realm almost like as it's a person itself, not focusing on individuals, but as managing the whole kingdom.
Yeah, I think for us it was really important to lean into the fact of that long time period and the progression and the amount of change that happened in the period. One thing we discussed was how in that time period, in the medieval time, there wasn't really the notion of nationhood or nations or states. But really, at the end of the medieval era, we are entering that realm of possibilities where you have something like nations forming. So it's really about these medieval realms finding themselves and defining themselves in that era. And it seemed like a great backdrop to give players that authorship, not just in a single lifetime of a ruler, but really in a line of succession that leads through the entire era.
And there are these great dynasties to draw inspiration from, whether it's the Plantagenets or the Capetians. And I think one of the really nice things about this project is going back to total wars that run across decades and centuries rather than a smaller more shorter period of time. It gives us a lot of space to talk about these grand, sort of slow-moving historical processes, as well as the really sort of spiky moments, the drama and the excitement of the events that happen.
One thing we sometimes talk about is how we want the game ultimately to feel very different in the early parts of your game versus the end. You know, we want to create an experience where 150 years in, you look back at the achievements and maybe failures and tragic moments and traumatic turn of events as part of your game, how the world has changed, partially under your feather, but also partially just through the events of the sandbox, which is really compelling for a Total War game.
You gentlemen have both obviously done a tremendous amount of research for this game and can draw upon that at will. But how will that history help inform the gameplay experience?
I'll go bold here and say I don't think there is gameplay without history. Whether you're making a fantasy game or a sci-fi game or historical, chances are that part of that draws a parallel to the past. So that might be a cool weapon or a unit or a whole feature set, but it probably is inspired from history. And I think that's what makes those gameplay features feel really fun to play. It's satisfying. They feel believable, they're grounded, they're real, even if they're a little bit fantastical. I think one of the cool things about working on a medieval game is that we have access to all these great sources, these manuscripts, these treaties and agreements, pipe rolls, artifacts, or the work of other historians that we can really draw on. And that directly goes into the content of the game. So that might be the weapons or the armor, the buildings, and we all love it when a TV show or a game gets the details just right. And I think we also kind of love it a little bit when they get it wrong too. But I think we can say that we want to make the most authentic Total War we've ever made. And that means going beyond the content. It's also about looking at historical relationships. So when you play our game, we want you to feel like you're in medieval shoes, that the problems that you're facing are the problems medieval people faced, and that the tools you have to solve those problems are the same tools that they had as well. So we look at the core systems of the game, like the economy or the recruitment or characters, buildings, and we think, okay, why did these work in the way that they did in the medieval period? Taking recruitment as an example, when you raise an army in our game, we want it to feel truly medieval. And where did medieval armies come from? Well, there aren't really standing armies, like in the modern day at least. It's probably more from oaths of fealty, from vassals to their lords. So we want you to feel like you're raising your banners, like you're mustering your forces or summoning the prince electors. And of course, it's not a PhD thesis, it's a game, and the fun definitely comes first. But if we can inspire people to look into history because of our game and maybe learn a thing or two, I think that would be great. And I got into history because of Total War, so it would be great to replay the favor.
Yeah, I think we ultimately set out to make the ultimate medieval strategy sandbox, right? And for that, the simulation of the medieval world is really important. And like Luke was saying, the representation of the forces and dynamics, that's really key. It's absolutely important to get, the armor right and the details on the helmets, but really capturing the forces and dynamics that moved the world at the time and making sure the player feels them and interacts with them. That's really our key goal.
There's so much you guys are juggling to get right in here. There's so many cool elements that clearly are building on things from the past and looking at them in completely new ways. But what's the one key element you're really looking at to focus on here for your team?
I think that's a really interesting one to pin down because there's so much excitement and passion in the studio and team for Medieval 3. There's a great anecdote where we were sharing some concept art with the wider Total War team, and the concept art was presenting some ideas around the upgrades of armor and how better techniques and more expertise in armor creation could be represented visually. And I got this huge message from someone not actually working on the game, explaining to me the details of plaquening and how it was done and what the benefits of it were. So a lot of passion in the wider Total War team that we want to draw from. But if it comes down to one thing, I think it would be to create that sandbox, to really bring the medieval world to life, to give you the option to interact with this world, feel the forces that were at play at the time, and really feel like this is truly a medieval game where you get to rewrite history the way you want.
And that's Total War Medieval 3. Thank you to the development team for coming out today and revealing this truly astounding game that I think we're all excited to see be developed in the future. Obviously, it's early days, but we can look forward to news updates as they come out and hopefully play a game where you can truly rewrite history.
Getting to work in Total War is like nothing else.
Working on Total War is definitely an experience.
It's different every day.
It's never boring.
Challenging.
Working on Total War is an absolute dream come true.
It's a franchise that's so close to my heart.
I like to solve problems, and Total War throws endless amounts of design problems at you.
Working with people who are passionate about what they do and the world they're building makes it a really excellent place to be.
Coming into work where I get to write about the Crusades 1 minute and the fantasy apocalypse the next is like nothing else.
Making Total War games feels like just bringing that fantasy, that imagination to life.
And the games are always challenging, but the challenge is something that we love to tackle.
It's a franchise that has taken us to many, many different places, so nothing's ever the same.
It's really great to be part of something that means so much to so many people.
I don't think there's anything quite like it.
The fact it's 2, sometimes 3 massive games rolled into one.
It combines strategy gaming and real-time battles like no other game.
It's this unique.
약간 사운드가 4K 사운드인데?
Kind of does it the same.
You really kind of get that view as if you're a god looking at this world.
It's all interactable and you can manipulate everything in the world.
Also, it gives you that real
미래,
immersion. So then
future.
Follow that through line all the way down to like an individual soldier, like you're zooming in on a battlefield.
You feel like you're right in there with the troops, and then with the campaign side, you get a lot of the gameplay and the strategic side of elements of the campaign.
It's just a really cool, nice synergy that works really well.
So for me, what makes it special is the
이 게임이
ability
특별하다.
to bring history to life.
To bring players into so many different places, and not many other games can say that.
We have people who are interested in history, in strategy, and of course, fantasy.
It's the ultimate time machine, a socio-economic war simulator that transports you back in time.
How does it feel to work on a game franchise that is 25
근데
years
심화인가?
old?
Exhausting.
It is crazy.
심화인가?
That it's 25 years
약간
since the first Total War.
마지막 느낌이긴 하거든요.
25 years is a long time.
It feels old.
하나 더 남았을 텐데.
Great to be part of something that's been here for this long.
It feels unbelievable and amazing. I never thought I would be part of Total War.
It's lovely to have been here for so long and seen our games develop, seen the tech develop.
We want to iterate and improve on aspects, but we are always keen to make sure we don't disappoint our fans, we don't change Total War too much.
But also, we need to move forward and do new things and innovate.
So we have a responsibility to keep it true to what makes Total War so special, but also carry it to the future and keep delivering new epic experiences that are going to stand the test of time.
It's a wonderful thing to be able to be part of something that has such a long and lasting legacy.
And it's stood the test of time. It's one of those great franchises.
Few games get to celebrate that milestone, and this game happens to be something very special.
And it also feels like it's not just a milestone and it's getting older, it's just the beginning of something new and where we're going next.
We all together as a team bring it to the future.
And that almost brings us to the end of our anniversary showcase. And what a celebration it's been. 25 years ago, we set out to build a strategy experience unlike any other. What began as a single game has grown into a franchise full of unforgettable moments which have been shared by tens of millions of players around the world. Today, we've celebrated that legacy by announcing a return to one of the most beloved eras in Total War history with Medieval 3. And we're preparing for the Cataclysm with the Lords of the End Times DLC and the End Times update of Warhammer 3. Few games get to celebrate such a monumental milestone, but we're eager and excited to spend many more years with you all. When we say your support means the world to us, we mean it. Whether you're playing
마지막 한 방 있을 것 같은데. 내가 들은 소식은 있다고 알고 있는데.
Or commenting Med 3 when on every social post imaginable.
미스리 나올 때까지 숨 참다 흡.
All of this contributes to creating the bedrock for Total War success.
큰 거.
Finally,
그렇지.
before we end today,
그렇지.
we have one last.
그래, 그렇지.
Hi everyone, I'm Attila.
Game director on the next major title being
아틸라 하는 사람이
we are not ready to unveil the project in all of its glory.
약간
It represents one of the most ambitious games
가장 야심찬 게임 중 하나.
and we can't wait to share it with you. We would like to invite you to tune in to the Game Awards on December 11th to watch the world premiere announcement trailer for our next Total War title. After that moment, we look forward to sharing more with you. Once again, from all of us today, thank you.
한 가지 나온다 이제 나오겠지. 어라? 이거에 채널 걸렸다. 내가 들은 루머는 40K거든요. 예, 제가 들은 루머는 일단은 그거거든요. 뭐야, 예고였던 거임?
exciting thing that's coming with all of this exciting new DLC.
뭐야? 예고였던 거임? 야, 11일까지 그럼 생명 연장임? 11일까지 생명 연장인가? 채널? 여기서 공개하는 거 아니었나? 내가 들은 건 그건데. 저기 분위기 여기 초상집이야? 어떻게?
일단은 자, 돈의 소리 다시 켜고. 자, 어쨌든 두 개는 확정이죠. 엔드타임에다가 그게 확정이야. 그리고 마지막 새로운 시작은 11일날 공개.
11일날 공개면은 11일까지 생명 연장인가? 이거 사단 났네. 일단 미디블은 맞네요. 신작이 하나 더 있는 건 확정인데 스타워즈냐 40K냐인데 이거는 발락.
Mate, where are you from, Matt?
야,
Matt,
너 어떡하냐?
Fucking name wrong. Is Mac even in chat?
야, 너 어떡하냐?
Mac, mate, where are you from?
아따, 이거 미치겠네. 이거 대사단 났네. 아이고야, 40K는 없었다. 근데 내가 들은 거는 이제 11일날 나오는 게 뭐 이번에만 공개 안 한 거지, 한 개 더 있는 건 맞으니까 뭐 그렇긴 한데 사람들이 잔뜩 기대되는데 원몰띵하고 11일로 미루는 거 뭐냐? 근데 루머는 맞잖아요. 그 아틸라가 40K 만든다는 그 루머 있지 않았나? 근데 굳이 지금 공개하면 나을 거를 이래서 감없다라는 소리를 듣는 건가? 일단은 오늘 방송은 여기서 마무리하겠습니다.